All right, guys, we're out on the trail doing a shakedown run of my brother's rig, and today we're gonna go over some of the build and what's to come. This is my brother Chris. Chris, everybody. We've met before, I believe, when we did the pickup. We went to pick this up.
Yes.
If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. I'll put a link up in the corner. Chris, what is this? What'd you get?
Okay, so this is a 2021 Gladiator diesel JT. So ordered it in February of this year, and I think it came around April when I was able to pick it up. And since then, it's just been a great time building it.
So let's talk about first the ordering process. So we went through Hemet, which is where we got Corey's Wrangler from, the white Jeep Tumbach.
It was early February.
And why
when we went in.
Why did we have to order it instead of just going picking it up off the lot?
So there weren't a lot of diesels. So it's a 3-liter V6 diesel. There weren't a lot of diesels in our area at all. So decided to order it, and then in that order process, you just kind of throw everything that you want in it. I had the upgraded sound system, so I got the 8.4-inch screen with the Alpine upgraded system. Ordered the auxiliary switches because at the time, if you went aftermarket or if you ordered from Mopar later, it was about the same price doing it later or having them put it in. So got the auxiliary switches, got the heated seats and heated steering wheel. It is California, you don't need it, but I'm a princess and I like it. So
I'm gonna have to bleep that out.
Gonna have to bleep that out. That's pretty much it. Got it with the black wheels,
black emblems.
Black emblems. I got it as blacked out as I can.
Color match fenders.
Yeah, the color match fenders were great. I got a good return on those, thankfully. Got those sold, made a little bit of money back. After we ordered it, just went straight on to ordering everything. Fenders and the winch, the bumpers, the sliders, the lights, anything that I can get my hands on in the meantime.
So let's talk about that a little bit. Okay, yeah. So when we started talking about building a Gladiator a year ago, because it's been a process.
It's been over a year prior. Yeah,
we started talking about, you know, what do you want to do and what kind of build you want to do and all this stuff, and I was content to kind of build it a little bit more mild than this and just have it be super capable and everything like that and be able to take it anywhere and all that stuff. And I knew that you would have been happy with that too, but we started having this kind of conversation about you just wanted to go absolutely wild.
Got a little out of hand.
So yeah, it escalated quickly.
Yeah.
So we literally hit the drawing board and I started making these mock-ups of how we thought it might look and what size tires. Originally it was, you know, 40s. I think it was originally the idea. Yeah. And then so it started with 40s. And very quickly got out of control because Nitto came out with their 42-inch trail grapplers.
Those on the market.
And then after that, it was, well, like, if you're gonna do 42s, why not do 43s? And then it was like, yeah. Okay.
I think in trying to order, there was a mad rush on everybody trying to get their hands on those trail grapplers, and no one had them yet. And then it was like, oh, there's a small brief window of opportunity to jump on these Baja Pro XSs, and I think that's what I did. Is like, okay, well, you don't go down, you go up.
Yeah. So. It went from 40s to 42s to 43s pretty quickly, yeah. And then the discussion became, okay, well, what kind of axles do you need to survive on 40s? And then it was like, well, you know, on 43s, there's really no discussion.
Yeah, exactly. You can't
really do 43s on the factory Dana 44 axles. So, which this came with, by the way, it came with the factory Dana 44 front because it's a diesel, and the Dana 44 rear because it's a Gladiator.
Yeah.
So we started talking about the tires. So what did you choose with the tires and the wheel combination?
Yeah, so jumped onto Mickey Thompson, those Baja Pro XSs, 43-inch by 15.5, and they're just monster tires. They're DOT approved, so that's absolutely a plus. Lots of sidewalls, and just the tread is absolutely deep. You can fit your fist in it, and it'll pick up rocks left and right and just carry them home with you, little boulders. The tires are, you don't need to express much more than that. The rims I went with were Hutchinson Rock Monsters. They're 17-inch, I believe 10-inch wide. They're double bead lock.
Inner outer.
Yep, correct. And segueing into the axles, they are 8 by 6.5-inch, 1-ton axles. So that's the bolt pattern on the rims. Yes, had to upgrade to the axles. So those are Dynatrac Pro Rock Elites. That's a 60 front and 80 rear.
Monster axles.
Monster axles. You're not going to get too much bigger. 72.5 inches wide. I did 538.
Or 538s, right?
I think it puts me right around 2,000 RPMs at 65, so keeps me pretty close to factory, which is good. All the torque is there from when it was stock. You know, it feels great on the road. It feels great.
Still picks
highway
up.
Speed. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Not an
So
issue.
it handles, what would you say, as good or better?
It handles just fine. No issues anywhere.
So let's talk about the suspension.
Okay, suspension, yeah. Suspension, I went through Rebel Off-Road, ordered the suspension, the axles, and the tires and rims through Rebel Off-Road. The suspension is their Overland Recon Stage 2. It is 12.5 by 2.5 inch shocks, I believe. Their front is a coilover setup with remote reservoir, and in the rear they have a hybrid, which is the 12-inch shock with the spring. And I guess what the difference is between Rebels or Evo is full coilover in the rear. They retain the spring in the rear so I could carry a little bit more load, a little bit more weight. So if I wanted to throw a rack on there, if I can get a tent that is somehow higher, I don't think I'm gonna go that route, but it'll let me carry a little bit more weight than if I just went straight coilover.
Okay, so and you said we've got the King coilovers and the triple bypass shocks running your front.
Yes.
And then shock and spring in the rear.
Correct. And with that kit, I was able to order TerraFlex's long arm kit, so it's TerraFlex long arm in the front and the rear. They actually gave me,
which is new.
Yes, a bigger TerraFlex rear sway bar, so that actually helps with a little bit of articulation. Adams drive shaft, so I got Adams shafts in there, powering my front and rears.
What about the steering? Do we know what a front end steering is?
Steering, PSC makes it for the V6, but they don't make it for the diesel yet. Supposedly first or second quarter of next year, PSC will come out with a hydro assist for the Gladiators.
Right, for the diesel.
It's already ordered. Rebel's got my tag on it, so as soon as that drops and hits the market, it'll go back in and we'll have the steering taken care of. Right now, you just have a little bit of a steering assist. Got a little, I think it's a Falcon. Yeah, the Falcon on there for the stabilizer. That got me on the road, got me stable. I don't have any issues driving down the road. It's not terrible. You know, it moves a little bit, but with the amount of meat on there, it's gonna happen. It's a freaking boat.
So do we have plans, or do we know what they did for the track bar, tie rod, drag link?
All that came from a kit that came with it. They threw it all on there. It turned out great. They did a great job. I've got no complaints. And I would recommend, you know, it just took a minute for all that stuff to come in. You know, it took probably 6-8 months.
Yeah, it was a long wait
before I was able to get into the shop and
well, because I mean, ordering the axles and then ordering the suspension, all that stuff.
King was on back order because of everything. Dynatrack was back ordered, and plus, you know, the time
TerraFlex long arms,
the long arm in the rear. TerraFlex had their front long arms out, but they didn't have a rear. I was about to go mid, but then they were able to drop that, and we were able to get that on there before I took it out of the shop. So I'm thankful for that.
So let's talk about what front bumper, and we'll do rear bumper, and then we'll take it from there. What front bumper did you go with?
So I went with Artec Industries. This is their Nighthawk front bumper. I wanted something, knowing that I was going to get such large tires, I want that to be my first contact. So I made sure the bumper I went with, very narrow, very short, just in front of the grill.
Super tight.
Super tight, which is a great design. It's got 3/4 inch D-ring hookups right there. I didn't opt for, you know, the brush guard or the bull bar or anything like that. I figured if I added that later, I could just drill it out and mount it.
And it retains your fog lights, factory fog light locations.
Retain factory fog lights, which aren't in there now, but it comes with a skid plate you could put on. So you could hit that, scratch that, damage that, and then if you want, replace it. That's what's great about this bumper. It allows you to just take off and put a new one on, you know. And it was easy to mount. Don't think I had to, I did have to dig into the frame a little bit for this. Just notch a small little bit of mounting issues, but it's not anything that nobody can do. So it wasn't great.
It wasn't exactly bolt-on. It did require a little bit of modification.
Just slightly.
Okay,
anybody with a Sawzall could have done it, and it's not much. Not much at all.
All right.
Hammered in there.
All right. And what winch and recovery you got?
Yeah. So that is Warren's Xeon Platinum 12S. Wanted that go with the best, and Warren's proven. I like having it Bluetooth. You know, instead of running a cord, I'm able to handle it inside the cab.
Very
or
smart.
far away. I can get away from the winch line. So it allows me a little bit more flexibility with what I want to do and how I want to recover if I need it.
And then up front, you got the Factor 55 flat link.
Got their flat link.
With the rope guard.
The Fairlead is just a Warren. You know, I just painted it black.
Yeah.
And then, so I went with Factor 55's flat link. And that's just my front setup right there. I guess moving on to the lights, I went with Oracle's bi-LED lights. Their HID kit allows 3 different, an outer and inner, and then that little demon eye in there.
Yeah.
You know, Oculus has a great little product that unfortunately you just need 3 different Bluetooth controllers if you want to handle.
Because you have to
3 different
control them individually,
so
right?
it starts packing in that engine compartment pretty quickly with the
wiring.
Yeah, exactly. And then I did Oracle's fog lights. So they have the RGB fog lights in there as well.
Yeah, it pairs up really well. It gives that effect that makes it kind of showy.
Yeah.
But I will say that the headlights are really bright. They actually light up really well.
They have a really nice crisp cut line. Now,
I noticed that.
It looks good. I feel bad for all the drivers in front of me. But
just because you're a little tall.
That's for them to deal with, not me. It is what it is.
All right.
Unapologetic.
Sticking with lighting, let's talk about your taillights. You have Oracle taillights too? Talk about those.
So Oracle released the pre-order mid-year, and I jumped on those, and those came out probably 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and I was able to get those and put those in. So those are the Oracle taillights for the Gladiator, which just is a game changer. I've told them several times this is the way it should have came from factory.
Those things are so nice, and they're really bright, and they're just
let me tell you,
super tight to the body.
The benefit of those reverse lights with the tint on there just is night and day. I don't need reverse lights down in my bumper anymore. Those things handle it really well.
But those things tuck up super nice, and they're super bright, and man, I just really am jealous because I wish that they had them for the Wrangler already.
Soon.
Hopefully they will get those soon because I would love to put those taillights on my rig as well.
Yeah.
And then sticking with lighting, what other kind of lighting you got here? You got a ton of light on this thing.
So what you can see is, yes, KC highlights, Gravity Pro 6 up on top. Those are their 8-pillar arms that I went with. There's a couple different options out there, but I just stuck with KC. And then on top of those, I actually have their Flex Era 4s. Those are just straight spot. I guess there's a combo lens you can put on. You really only need one or the other. It's just both are so bright.
This thing puts out so much light, like it's ridiculous.
Yes.
I mean, you're a UFO going down the trail now with the combination of the Flex Era 4s and the Gravity Pro lights. I mean, the Gravity Pros, I mean, they're awesome. They look great. It's classic and everything like that. And I'm super happy so far with the Flex Era 4s because we were able to get them on all 3 of our rigs. So we got them for you and for Whiplash and for Tumbach, and I love them. I've tested them out recently coming off the trail late in Arizona, and I was like, man, God, I turned everything off as I was heading down the trail with my headlights only, and I was like, man, I can't believe I used to drive like this. This is ridiculous. But the Gravity Pro light and the Flex Era 4 is like you're not going to want for anything as far as light on the trail goes.
You don't need any more lighting.
And then what else you got? I know you got some undercarriage lights too. Let's talk about that.
So the undercarriage lights are a couple different things. I also went with Oracle's rock lights. So those are 6 lights, 8. 2 under the front fenders, 4 underneath the rock sliders, and then 2 in the rear fenders. And those are RGB, so I'm able to color change and get as fancy as I want to be. And then for actual purpose use stuff, I have actual KC highlights V2 Cyclones that I'm going to put on. So I'm going to put those 2 in the front, probably 2 on the sides, and 2 in the rear, and that'll actually be my purpose use.
The rock lights for the trail, not for the show.
I'm not going to try to see in purple lighting where I need to put my sliders or anything like that. No, exactly.
Out of control, went completely wild.
Yes.
Okay, so I think that covered all of the lighting.
Couple more things. So KC highlights their rear 28-inch chase light.
Right.
In the rear.
Yes. I forgot about the chase light.
It's probably not useful anymore being as tall as it is, but it's nice to have those ambers blinking and the red on there. So that's good to cut down through some of the dust. Helps out on the trails as well.
And you also have Cyclones underneath the hood, right?
Yeah, I guess It's just, that list keeps on going. KC's just got got me covered. So yes, I was able to run a couple of those V2s up underneath the hood and mount a nice little switch. You probably see it in some of the videos, and it's a good placement for them. They light up that compartment well, and it's great for if you need to get out there and do any winch work.
Yeah, I tell you, when I saw you did that, I was like, okay, I've got to have that.
Yeah.
Like, I got to do that too.
Yeah.
So that's going to be coming for Whiplash here soon, just as soon as I can.
With the fenders, went with Road Armor Stealths.
I recognize those.
They're just, I don't know if you could beat them on the market. They're just really steel. They handle a load. You could step on them, you could bang them into stuff, and it's just going to protect your body really well.
They just look so cool. They
Lots
look
of
mean.
wheel well to
Oh
tuck
yeah.
those puppies in.
Oh yeah. They sit really, really high. They
No
mount
rubbing at
really
all.
high. Yeah, plenty of clearance.
Plenty of clearance for those.
I mean, those are 43-inch tires, and you've got like a foot of clearance.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You can flex that thing out and not have to worry about rubbing. It's great.
No, it's been good.
And so your rear bumper.
Rear bumper, went with Motobilt, their Crusher rear bumper. I went with Motobilt because it is a single, complete welded piece that protects my sides underneath. So I probably got about 6 or 7 inches of platform to put on anything I need to. So a lot like the Rubicons come with their rock rails, but it's a different piece. This is a one-hole bumper that wraps around. It's got grill slot, so if I wanted to put like rigid lights back there or something like that, or more, get back to KC, you know, just another thing on the truck.
I remember we were talking about doing Flex Era, the singles, or the Flex series singles, or the Flex Era 3s.
Yep.
I know we were talking about that, and,
Yep.
and then, you know, looking at the Oracles, it's like, oh man, do you really even need it?
No.
But who knows? It may end up happening anyway. So we covered that. What about the sliders? Let's talk about the sliders.
Yes, the sliders. Okay, so Rockslide Engineering. Rockslide Engineering makes, I think this is their second version.
Right.
They have a third one out now that actually contours in towards the back cab a little bit, which is nice and sleek.
Tapers back.
Yeah, exactly. Tapers back a little bit. Great design. These ones, still great design. If you're going to go Rockslide, make sure you get the armor. I can't express that enough. Plenty of people think that you're protected from there. You're not. If you plan on putting your belly on any of the rocks out here or anything, you need to make sure you're protected. So
and we just did it.
Yeah, the slide of the steps. I'm just going to say steps. The steps themselves are great. I'm 250 pounds, and I jump in and out of those things constantly.
No big deal.
Very well built. They tuck up nice, fast, good lock. But yes, the sliders is another 3/16 inch armor that you need on there, because if you come down and you're unprotected, you're going to ruin your step.
Have we done everything on the exterior?
Exterior, I mean, just straight from Mopar, the proximity sensors, the passive entry.
That's right, the passive entry system. Yep.
That's. I would recommend. It was just another one of those things. Like, the passive entry should have come from the factory. I think they were only like $300 for driver and passenger and a new harness.
Let's talk about the inside.
Okay, can do. Yeah. So inside, I've got Vector Off-Road's e-dock for my phone mount and my GoPro mount. I think I went Bulletproof Mounting Solutions for their arm and what was a phone mount set? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then I think
I think that
Metal Masters I got in there for my iPad mount, and I can't remember the actual phone mount. But yeah, so that's the e-dock in there.
I think your phone mount is bulletproof, or Bullet Point. They changed their name. So Bullet Point Mounting Solutions is the phone clamp. They used to be Bulletproof Mounting Solutions, but they changed their name. Carolina Metal Masters we're familiar with. I've got it on Whiplash, and we have them on Toonbuck as well.
So I've got Way of Life CB radio bar up there.
That's right. What radio are you running?
So I'm running Midlands GMRS radio, and I have their little ghost antenna up, so it's very nice, sleek. It's a good design. I don't have a big whip. I got a S-Pod Bantam. So going into the engine compartment, I got S-Pod Bantam, and that's what's running my lights, front and rear, and everything. And then I have their LCD screen right up on top as well.
So we need to talk about your system. Music.
Yeah. So yeah, I went to Advanced Car Stereo in Riverside, and they were able to hook me up with a couple 10-inch subs in the rear, replace all my factory Alpine speakers with upgraded 6-inch speakers in the dash and in my soundbar in the rear, a couple of amps underneath the seats, and it's good. You know, it's just another little added feature. You know, I'm not really trying to shake all the bolts and nuts loose out of this thing, but you know, I appreciate sound and.
But you like your tunes.
They did a pretty good job. I give them props on it. Yes.
So what kind of head unit you running?
The head unit I went with a company called Phoenix Automotive. They have a 12.1 inch Tesla style screen that's in there. I'm still learning a little bit about it, but it's an Android system. It's like their new Android 10, and what it also the benefit of it, excuse me, is a wireless CarPlay. So that helps out tremendously. I'm able to get into controlling my apps through that wirelessly, which is nice. Just a nice little feature. The good thing about this unit is file sharing. I'm able to upload different images for background wallpapers, and I can actually change the layouts of it, and I still get a lot of my factory controls. So like all my digital readouts that you would have with your factory off-road pages, I get a lot of that too in the cluster. So it's nice to retain a lot of those factory
and your maps and everything else.
Correct. All that stuff pops up the same, and it's just everything is now in a slim, minimal amount of buttons on the screen itself, and it's nice.
And you're able to connect to your phone even though you have an Apple and it communicates fine. You haven't had any problems with that?
It's all via Bluetooth, and it's nice. It connects nicely. There's not a lot of delay in response, so it's nice. It functions well. Pretty
user friendly. You like the operating system?
I'm a Neanderthal, so I still have to learn about it, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be a great unit once I learn how to extract all the features and use it the way it's designed. Yeah.
Awesome. So one more thing on the interior. You have which compressor did you go with?
So I went with ARB's dual compressor, an 813's mount in the rear driver's side seat.
Okay, yeah, that's right. 813 fabrication, right?
Yes, correct. And that just tucks nicely behind the driver rear seat. It mounts right in there, and that is running my lockers, ARB front and rear lockers, and I've got two different air chuck points. So it's like I've got one tucked away behind my front bumper and one in the truck bed. Okay. And I cap those off and protect them with a couple of Sherman caps.
So with talking about airing up and airing down, something we missed with the Hutchins Rock Monsters.
Yes.
We talked about it when we hit this trail today. You can air down 43-inch tires from 30 PSI down to 10 in 30 seconds. 30 seconds. How do you do that?
So I went with Apex valves, and then their design is you just take the cap off. It's just a regular valve stem, but they have that clutch release brake in the back. You just pull on that, and it gives you different air points to exhaust all that air.
Nice.
You just pull that puppy out, and you just slam it right back in when you're done.
Yeah, you were done airing down before I was, and I was like, geez, I only got 35-inch tires.
I had a smile on a Coke before you started too. Yeah.
Right. So what's next?
Next, okay, I think we covered PSE. That's coming out the second quarter for my Hydro Assist. Artec just released for the Gladiator diesels their full aluminum belly pan. It's a 1/4 inch thick, I think 6061 aluminum, and they actually, which is good on their part, down underneath where the exhaust is. So there's, with diesels, you have a heating issue that you got to deal with the exhaust. They actually cut slits in almost that whole way to help exhaust some of that heat that you'll be producing out there. So trying to get rid of the heat in these motors is some of the big issues a lot of people have. So yes, that belly pan will start shipping out end of December, and that'll be one of the next things that goes in. Now that we're on the back end of SEMA, I was hoping to see if there was another product out that instead of the anti-rock or the sway lock, something like that. So I was hoping to see if there was a new sway bar out there, but I'm probably going to go with the anti-rock. Put that in there.
I know we love ours. So.
Of course, everybody can't hear enough about them.
They are great.
I mean, it doesn't take much to just unlink and tuck it out of the way, but
I mean,
kind of the fun in it.
It does save us a little bit of time. I mean, I do appreciate it, and it really does handle a little bit better when you're off road, when you're in an anti-rock versus just being completely connected. So I mean, having a traditional sway bar is great. If you have a Rubicon and you're able to disconnect, that's great. But also having an anti-rock, I found the trade-off way worth it. Being able to just drive right off into the dirt and hit the trail, not have to worry about disconnecting, which took forever and I hated it. But being able to just continue on the trail, just air down and then just take off, it was so worth it. It was just so worth it. And it's so smooth, and it's not the handling characteristics on the road did not suffer as much as you might think. And then we wanted to talk about banks. We need to talk about banks.
Okay, yeah. So plans is to get it into Banks power, and they're gonna go ahead and we're gonna work with them on getting the Banks Derringer and their pedal monster in there. And their dyno specs will give me, I guess, another 70 pounds of torque and maybe like 40 horsepower, and I guess that's to the wheel. And that is just another just quick plug and play.
And Banks, I mean, you were talking to me when you had your conference call with them, and from what it sounds like is they have a very holistic view on how to try and marry up the off-road community and the Jeep community and the diesel world, because they've got, I mean, they do diesels, yeah, like you said. So it's like they have that idea of, now that Jeep offers a diesel power plant, they really want to try to marry these things together and have a very natural progression to where it's not like everybody out there on the road trying to do deft deletes and, you know, just messing with everything. So having performance issues here and there because they're doing things that in their mind might be good, but in reality it's not designed to run the way that they're thinking it is. So it sounds like from what you were saying is that they've really thought it through. They've taken their time to try to take advantage of how Jeep has designed their diesel power plant and brought forward a system that would work harmoniously with it and really take advantage of their design and just kind of expand on its performance.
With the diesel community, you're always trying to just get rid of a lot of that EPA stuff and trying to extract that power and get back that power that was lost with all of, you know, the stuff that was put in for those kind of protections. So what Banks has done, instead of routing around all those protections, is just to design a product that works with it in conjunction with it, and then it's works well with these eco diesels. So they're able to pull that kind of power without having to do tunes and have to do your EGR deletes and your def system. So that's the good thing about it. It's just plug and play. Everybody's happy with it, and that's just the way to go. Absolutely the way to go.
I'm excited to see what comes out with that. So let's do favorite modification.
Favorite modification. I know we talked about it earlier and you kind of laughed at me, and I'm dead serious. My favorite modification on this is that passive entry door handle. I'm not even joking. I tell you, and I'll tell everybody, everything that I put on this, my absolute favorite is not having to go in and get your fucking keys out, and it's just nice to go up there and hit that handle and it unlocks, and you step on out, you press that little button and it locks and you can walk away. That's absolutely my favorite, most convenient, most budget friendly, easier installs, and I recommend it for everybody, hands down.
That just tickles me to death. I can't.
I laugh at it too, but I think if I were to lose that, I could go down in tires, I could swap fenders and lights and bumpers, and everything out there is good. You know, you could have fun with it. If I lost that passive entry, I'd be a little.
Well, there you go.
Left on it.
There you go. If you don't have passive entry, you got to get passive entry. Okay, you've heard it from the man himself.
Yeah, definitely recommend.
Okay, so let's do one more fun question. You have a bucket list trail?
Bucket list trail. So that's a funny story. I did. I had a bucket list trail back when I was contemplating 40s. Back when even it was 42s. Now I don't know if I could do Black Bear Pass. Well, I think that would have been fun. I don't know. At 92 inches wide, I can do that. And we joked about it, and I'm not gonna put my thoughts down on it because I don't want anybody attempting it and getting hurt or anything like that. But
I agree with you. I don't think that it is a good idea to try and do Black Bear Pass when you're that wide, when you're that tall, when you're that long. Pardon all of that innuendo. I just don't think that it's a good idea. I think
there's a lot of things on the thing. It's probably not a good idea, but that went right out the window.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But also, you know, you lose out on Pinion Mountain and
I've ranked myself out of a lot of wedges and a lot of nice mines I probably can't go in. And I'm okay with that. You know, it is what it is.
It's a trade-off.
It's a trade-off. That's exactly right. Not every rig can do every trail and everything. It's just
that's true.
Having the fun in the capable areas you can, the capable trails you can, and you just make the most of it. You know, and so I think when the steering's on, when PSC is on there, Rubicon won't be an issue. A lot of, like, you know, when we go over to Cleghorn or we do John Bull or we do any of those, I don't think I'm going to have any issues out there.
Oh, especially, Holcomb, you'll be able to conquer everything out there.
I'm a local guy. It's just down the mountain for me, so I'm able to make that my backyard and go play around as much as I can in some of those areas. Yeah. I mean, it's just one trail at a time. I'd like to tackle as much California as I can, and then venture off. You know, go out to Moab. You know, go all sorts of places.
But yeah,
Arizona's got a lot of good stuff. Colorado. You know, Utah,
yeah, I don't think Carnage
Canyon.
Canyon is going to be on the docket for you. I think you're too big for Carnage Canyon.
That's some of those things that you got to be okay with.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're in a class of your own. I mean, there's not a whole lot of rigs built like this. I mean,
No,
you probably
not
count
yet.
them on your hand.
Not yet. Yeah.
So, anything else that you can think of?
No, I think we're good. I mean, it's been fun. You know, it's barely since April.
Yeah,
It's been a lot of weekends
Jeez.
building and putting stuff on. So I mean, it's still young. Still not done anything with it yet.
I still can't believe it. So what's that? You know,
That's it.
8 months?
Something like that. Yeah. Not even out of this year. So
Yeah.
plenty of
7
time, plenty of
months?
trails, plenty of meetups.
Yeah.
Yeah, plenty of opportunities to really move that earth around.
So basically, 7 months, and this is what you got.
This is what you can do.
When you're kind of crazy.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. But yeah, I've had a blast building this thing, and I know it's not done yet,
No.
but it will be soon. And now the fun part happens, because now we just get to go out and just
Have fun.
tackle everything. I just want to thank you guys for spending some time with us. It's probably got a little long. We'll see how I can chop down the edit the best I can. I'll do the best I can, guys.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you taking the time,
Absolutely.
talking, and I love the truck. I really do. I know that I was battling you for a little bit, like trying to rein you in, but
No.
you know what? I think it came out great.
Yeah, once you let a little leash out, you just got to go with it, and that's exactly what happened. Just win with it.
It's great, and I'm excited to see where we can take this, because this thing's a monster, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I think that'll do it for this video. We're going to probably grab something to eat, and then we'll be heading off to the next adventure. Thanks, guys. So it'll be fun. I mean, we're going to definitely get up into the big 3 in Big Bear with this thing very soon, just as soon as we can get the PSC on there, because, I mean, we talked about it. I know in a phone call, it was just one of those steering into obstacles with a factory pitman arm and just a Falcon steering dampener or steering stabilizer is not going to quite cut the trick, and you don't want to, I mean, when you got 43-inch super aggressive mud terrain tires, heavy duty axles, heavy duty steering, and your weak point ultimately becomes that pitman arm. And if that pitman arm busts, or your steering electronic steering box goes out, then you're dead in the water, and that's going to be an expensive tow bill off of if we were at Holcomb or John Bull.
Yeah.
It'd be really tough to get the rig out at that point. But once PSC takes the load off of the steering, I mean, we'll end up being basically mechanical after that all over again. So it'll be a lot easier to steer into heavy obstacles, rocks and trees and all that stuff and everything else. 43s are not 43s. So I'm excited for when that comes, because getting those off the list, because I know you're chomping at the bit. I can tell. I know you're chomping at the bit for those. You want them. We could probably do Gold Mountain, no problem. Well, I know we could do Gold Mountain, no problem. John Bull, I hesitate because that pitman arm. Holcomb, definitely don't want to break down in the middle of Holcomb because of a pitman arm steering issue.
Got time. Yeah, we got
because
time.
It'll come. It'll all come.
Oh yeah.
But
I think that's it.
yeah, no, well.
What else you got?
Bucket list trail.
Bucket list trail.
I mean,
Rubicon. I mean, that's everybody's go-to thing. If I could somehow get that thing down Black Bear, that view looks absolutely incredible.
Well, there's other stuff.
Looks,
there's other stuff up in Colorado that you can hit.
Yeah.
I mean, I Telluride is beautiful. We'll get back out there. All right. So let's give them a minute. Okay.